Welcome to the Reconnection Club podcast, the show that helps parents heal troubled relationships with their adult sons and daughters. I'm your host, psychotherapist Tina Gilbertson. Each week, I'll offer you compassion, clarity, and personal development tips designed to help you reconnect, not only with your child, but with yourself. Now let's get started. We always have some members in the Reconnection Club who are back in touch with their formerly no or low contact adult children. And I've learned so much from those members about what I've come to think of as the reconciliation phase of estrangement. What I've learned alongside reconnecting parents is that reconciliation is not always the prize we assumed it would be. Most especially because, for many people, reconciling doesn't automatically lead to happiness. There are still concerns, there may still be insecurities, there may be hurt feelings that don't go away, and often fears of another estrangement. I've spoken before about how reconciliation is a process, not an event, but I really haven't focused on the idea that I'm presenting today, which is this notion that happiness isn't guaranteed with reconciliation, that the suffering and pain of estrangement doesn't always get better when the relationship starts up again. And I think it's important to recognize that ahead of time so that you don't get caught unaware when you are in the reconciliation phase and you find that you're not feeling happy about it. One of our members who reconciled with his son mentioned this as part of his experience in episode 202, A Reconnection Story. You can hear him tell it in his own words at reconnectionclub.com/202. In spite of how much he longed for contact during the estrangement, and fantasized about how happy he'd be if his son reached out to him, when it actually happened, he was pleased, of course, but he didn't feel the excitement or the elation that he assumed he would. Contact itself doesn't resolve everything after estrangement because, in many cases, if not most, lack of contact is not in itself what makes estrangement so deeply painful for parents. It's what goes on inside the parent during the lack of contact, the meaning they make of it, the triggering of old feelings of grief, loss, embarrassment, abandonment, or rejection. An unwanted estrangement from your child has the power to unearth and revive the most tender and vulnerable parts of you, along with some of the more grievous emotional wounds you may have been carrying throughout life without thinking about it too much, or maybe even without realizing it. That's one reason why the reopening of communication doesn't always equal an end to suffering, let alone total relief or bliss. Whatever pain the estrangement triggered, for many parents, it was already there to some degree, in the shadows, disowned and unacknowledged, before the estrangement began. And when that is the case, of course it's still going to be there when the estrangement ends. The pain isn't resolved by reconciliation because, at its core, it didn't begin with estrangement. It was only triggered by it. Now you might hear this and think, that's probably true for some people, but I really will be genuinely happy when and if this estrangement ends. Maybe your relationship with your adult child is the only aspect of your life that feels like it's not in place at the moment. And I definitely hope you're right that simply regaining contact will make you happy. It might. And by the way, chances are you will get an opportunity for contact again at some point. That's what the research suggests. If you're estranged, there's a good chance it's temporary. And most of the parents I work with, just anecdotally, even if they've had no contact for 10 years or more, most of them do get unexpected opportunities for contact for various reasons at some point. If that has not happened yet for you, I hope you do get that opportunity. But if the only thing you need in order to be happy and fulfilled in your life is to have a relationship with your adult child or children or grandchildren, consider the implications of that for a moment. That means that even once they're back in your life, you will never be able to fully relax into happiness because what if you lose them again? For our happiness to be conditional, on what someone else does, we have to give up on ever being genuinely happy. Because it seems to me, conditional happiness is not happiness, it's anxiety. It means walking on eggshells instead of walking our own path with a sense of being okay within ourselves. True happiness, in my opinion, becomes possible only when we have our own backs to the point where we know we'll be basically okay, that we are essentially well and whole, even if relationship troubles come calling again. So if you're in the process, or think you may be in the process, of reconciling with your estranged adult child, and you find that you don't feel happy even though things on paper are moving in the right direction, there is nothing wrong with you. Being back in contact after estrangement isn't supposed to make all your pain go away, or make you all the way happy all of a sudden. Contact may soothe you temporarily, but genuine happiness might depend on other kinds of connections being made and sustained. For example, it may depend on your connection to your own intuition, your ability to trust yourself and to advocate on your own behalf, to fall apart and let yourself be held by someone other than your child who loves and cares about you. Genuine happiness might depend on your willingness to give yourself approval and acceptance and love, or to connect with your true feelings, whatever they are, even if they're confusing or distressing at times. Working your way back from estrangement is work. Very often, there's individual work to be done, and happiness is not the goal of that work, but a byproduct of it. The goal, in my view, is for the parent-child relationship to reflect the wellness and wholeness of both parties in the relationship. And one or both of you might not be there just yet, hence the lack of happiness. But unlike happiness, wellness and wholeness are worthy goals that we can actually work toward. They are rewards in themselves, but there's an added bonus. Both wellness and wholeness tend to bestow happiness as a side effect on those who prioritize them. So regardless of whether renewed contact with your adult child is making you happy at the moment, as the senior adult, you still have the power to set the tone in your relationship. You can commit to wellness and wholeness as a first order of business. You can focus on being the instrument of positive change in your relationship by becoming as well and as whole as you can over time. There are many ways to pursue that intention, but the first step is to make it conscious. See what it feels like to say, I want my relationship with my child or children to be good, but I want to be well and whole again, no matter what. Joyce Meyer said, the greatest gift you can give your family and the world is a healthy you. If we take the word healthy to mean well and whole, that's a gift we can give to ourselves as well, and in doing so, open a pathway to genuine happiness. Until next time, remember that you are a loving, lovable, and still growing human being. So please, take good care of yourself. Bye for now. If you've enjoyed this episode of the Reconnection Club podcast, I invite you to check out reconnectionclub.com. The Reconnection Club is for parents at any stage of estrangement from their adult, child, or children. So whether you've just realized there's trouble between you, you've been living with estrangement for years, or you're newly reconciled but still walking on eggshells, the Reconnection Club is your essential resource for information, support, and continued personal growth. With our courses and workshops, expert interviews, monthly Q&A calls, and a friendly, active community, the Reconnection Club is a wonderful place to be for anyone suffering the pain of estrangement from an adult, child, or children. So check it out at reconnectionclub.com.